lost my daughter Haven in January of 2019. She was a stillborn, and I found out that I had lost her from a routine appointment, and unfortunately, I had to learn what a stillborn was throughout that process, meaning that I would give birth to her not breathing. And through this journey, I've met a lot of people along the way, including everyone at Propa City. And it's been a hard journey, but it's been a great journey at the same time. And I've gained a lot of lost moms that have supported me on the way. And I think I've just realized that throughout this all, that there is purpose in your pain. And I think that was the hardest thing for me to learn, but I've been able to do that and process this along the way.
I am super grateful to have found Propa City, and I just remember receiving numerous messages from now our Senator Liz Miranda encouraging me to reach out to Propa City to join the support group. She had shared her family story of experiencing stillbirths, and I honestly just wanted to get her off my back. And at the time she was grieving and I was grieving, and I reached out to you, and it's been home ever since.
Our journey started in April of 2020 after we lost our first daughter, Emerson Snuff, due to a rare condition called chaos. I was given Stephanie's information and Propa City's information through a friend actually on Facebook. And she was one of the first people I spoke with. And through her support, I was able to meet other women and get a lot of help throughout my loss in the beginning. And then actually a year later, we had another loss, and the support continued throughout that loss as well.
My son, Edward Manuel Arnold, was born at 24 weeks gestation on February 15th, 2020, and he passed on March 9th, 2020. In February of 2021, I had this sudden urge of creating a project around his honor and memory to continue his legacy, because I honestly didn't want to forget him. I didn't want time to go by and not have something tangible that would honor his memory. And it was really important to me to support people that have experienced neonatal loss, that have babies in the NICU who are ill and who have experienced stillbirth. And I was, after finding Propa City and seeing honestly the great work that you're doing and that the team is doing, it really forced me to look around and say, like, in my community, if as a Latina I felt represented in other organizations, and I didn't. And so it was important to me to create something for him, for me, and for others in the community.
After our babies died, we always knew that we wanted to do something in their honor. We weren't exactly sure what. And actually a group of women at my work they took up a collection and started the scholarship fund. And we were given that kind of like as a gift, and we really loved the idea. And that's kind of where we decided that we wanted to continue with that every year. And that's how Doc's going to talk a little bit about how the golf tournament started.
Once we got, were informed about the scholarship fund, we were really, just kind of taken aback about it and wanted to find a way that how we could do it on an annual basis and really kind of turn it into sort of a bigger event where we could have like friends and family involved. Because, once people heard about the scholarship, they really wanted to be a part of it and support it. So we were trying to think of ways that we could, raise money for the scholarship and kind of keep that as an annual thing, for a scholarship at Middleborough High School where Kelsey works. I'm an avid golfer. I love to golf. A lot of my friends and some of my family like to golf as well. So we thought it would just be a cool idea to sort of host kind of a one-day event where everything would be there to, support the fund, but also just have a day with, to remember our children, but also get, family and friends, there to spend a day with us and really turn it into kind of a date to mark on the calendar where we can all kind of celebrate, our kids. So that's kind of what started it and what turned it into, what it is, today going into our third year.
My initiative is Haven's Wings of Hope, and through this, it is designed to give comfort to a lost mom. And it came about because I had so much support when I went through my loss of things that comforted me, and I tried to put myself in a mother's shoe of what would comfort her during this hard time. And so what Haven's Wings of Hope is it's kind of like a best friend necklace, but it's with the mother and her baby. So there's a heart piece that the mother will get and a butterfly piece that the baby will get. And the mother can choose what to do with whatever she wants with the baby's part of the necklace, whether she wants to bury the baby with it or put it in a memory box. And it's significant that they each have a piece, but they'll reunite again.
I think just the one thing we want people to know is just, I don't think it matters, the type of event, but I think it is important to, have a day of remembrance, and that could be something personal. It could be a larger event that you could do, with friends and family. So I think it's really, unique to you and your story and your journey and how you want that to happen. So I think just letting people know that it doesn't really matter what it is, as long as it's something that you're passionate about, and you're if you want other people to be involved, they can be. If not, that's great too. It's really, I think, unique and special to what you want to do. And it just so happened that I have a lot of friends and family that also like to golf as well, and so it just kind of turned into a day to do something that we all enjoy, but also do it in remembrance of our children. So I think it just kind of morphed into what it is, and I think it's important for people to find what's important to them and do that, and if whether that be one thing or another, but I think it's really personal on what you want to do.
I want them to know that you can shelter here, that I'm here to support you in any way that feels good to you, that no grief journey looks the same. The things that worked for me are not necessarily going to work for you, but that we can brainstorm together in community to find what will heal you and what will work for you. I want people that are grieving to know that this is, I feel like, a lifelong journey, that we learn how to carry this pain, we shift this pain around, but the pain and the loss and the missinghood is always going to be there, but that we do learn with different tools and different support systems that we can get through this, and that we can get through it together, because you're not alone.
I want people to know that this is designed to give women comfort, the lost moms specifically, and that they're not alone. I think that's the biggest thing that I can say, being on this journey, is it's so comforting when you're comforted by other women and you're getting these gifts of love from people, that you understand that they know what you've been through, but at the same time you're being comforted through it.
Provo City has saved me in so many ways. I remember the darkness that I felt when I was joining those support groups, and my grief and love was just overflowing. I felt so supported and held in those spaces, and to be with other moms that felt the same. No matter how much time had passed for their child or their loss, they were grieving, they were loving their babies from beyond. And I say it often that it saved me because I found my village. I found a home. I never felt like it was too much. I felt very welcomed and very safe. When I was asked to be a board member, I remember like yesterday, because I just remember thinking, how great that I get to be a part of this. How great that I get to be a part of continuing Simeon's legacy, but also my own, and sharing my sunshine, and sharing my love for him, sharing the joy that he brought me, because it's not all about the grief, it's also about that joy that I felt in his birth, that I felt in carrying him, that I still feel today, because that love never dies. And my favorite griefy saying is grief is love, and I don't shy away from it. And that's what I loved about joining the group, that I felt like I could, and that it just didn't feel like, it felt like I didn't have to hide it.
Right from the start, when I met with Stephanie and all of the other women, they really helped me kind of move through my grief and figure out ways to honor my baby and kind of turn our pain into something beautiful. So hearing about what some of the other people were doing for their babies kind of inspired some of our ideas as well. Just knowing that we wanted to do something, we wanted to keep saying their names, to keep, making sure everybody knew about them and celebrating them. And honoring them, and just the weekly support groups that I've had have helped so much, just to talk to other women who are in the same position as we are. We formed a sisterhood and really helped each other through, so that's been really special.
In so many ways, I think, when people ask me, how have you come this far? Like, how have you healed so well, from their perspective? And I owe a lot of it to you guys. God first is my number one. People ask me, how have you done this? And it's literally by the strength of God, because if you told me this was on my agenda through my life, I wouldn't believe it, and I would say, I don't know how I could do it. But Propa City has been such an instrument in my healing that I remember one of the first times I talked to you, and I was like, how are you smiling? Like, all I felt like I could do was cry. And you told me that it will get better. The grief is different, but it gets easier. And I had so much hope throughout the process. And seeing what you guys do just brought so much comfort. For someone to say you're not alone, or the projects that you did with us, to remember our babies and have special moments, even though they weren't with us. And, seeing what you do gave me encouragement that she may not be here, but like her legacy can live on. So I've definitely gained a lot through what you guys do.
Thank you.
Tears.
Anna.